Okay. Good? Yeah, we're recording. Now let's talk about the God of the White real quick. You know, the God of the White was actually now when we was talking about Odu and Odu Dua, it's not actually me trying to introduce you to a new system. All I'm trying to do is make you understand our American idea and concept of what we're saying. When we say the word God, I could ask you, which God? You'd be like, God, you don't have a name. But it doesn't, no, that's not true. God is just a title. It's not a name. It don't mean nothing. It's just a title. A title that is so disrespectful. You say uppercase mean our title for the superior God, and then you have the lowercase, which just mean gods. And if you're just saying gods, and you could equate the Baal God as a lowercase God, and Molech as a lowercase God, what is the name of your God with the uppercase? You can't just say God, a title is God. So then when you willing things with just a title and no image to it and no, it doesn't work. For you to will something is like sending a shock wave into this astral or the world, the universe. But if you don't have an image to imprint into the data, you're not imprinting nothing but a wave. So then when you're having God with no name, no concept, no nothing to it, what are you willing? Okay, so let's understand how God of the White is God and everything is today in Christianity the way it is. I'm not changing nothing. I'm explaining everything. That's all I'm doing. So now you look at OD and OB. We were up to Obitala, which is God of the White. God of the White is where we get Jesus from. God of the White is where we get all the scary people from Pan, what we call the Kalipha. The first thing created by the white, the cloud, the suds from the waves that you see in reality. We're understanding reality. What does the suds of the wave mean? What does the white cloud mean? What's their purpose here? What's the purpose of it on water? And this is the understanding of what everything in us and around us is us own individual that gives us the ability to say we're all connected, we're all one, we're all the same. And once you can see yourself as one, you can separate that part of you into yourself and leave your consciousness and be the grass and look at things from what the grassy with foot stepping over it. You could be the bees and the bugs. You could be that fish if you could see yourself as it, because you have to now understand the God concept. Because if you don't understand who God is, your God is a selfish God. Okay, on that note now, the Obital, God of the White, you understand that only renders the opposite, black. Anything black did not come from God of the black. Anything black, or what we can call black today, the dark skin, came from God of the white. Spirit is God of the white. It's not a white God, it's spirit. Which leads us to the story of Cortez and Montezuma. Look at Cortez when his skin color, a Spaniard, that was part of a trinity of attacks between England, Spain, and Portugal upon the world. These England, Portugal, and Spain people are one group of race, Anglo-Saxon, that migrated over time to different parts and went to war between each other. So that's like a internal battle between one group of people on three continents that trying to pretend to everybody like they're different, but they got together to conquer together, to do what's called eugenics together. They was the cause of all the slave trade. Any type of discovery, they the ones who, because they made it up. So on that note now, when they first started running around and discovering everything, you got to realize they came late. This is now go to the OB, or OD now, Oduduwa, which in the actual doctrines is the female. Male is God, straight. Female is the circle, O. So OD was the first one. You put the G before it, you got GOD. That's what we represent today. I'm giving you the facts. It's West African, Olmec, first, O. Every word that began with O. So you could track it down to Igbo, Nigerian, Pygmy. All their words start with O. Lemurians, O. Okay. On that note now, OD with the G, take the G off, and put ODIN. Odin. Odin is the German version of the African god, OD. Now, put the W to it, and you got the modern German version of it, which would have been Wodan, WODAN. You take that now and you translate it to English, which is just a translation meaning. They say this is equivalent to Wodan. You get GOD. Google everything I just said. I'm going to leave you at that to go on your own. Okay, now, OD, what is it? And what's God? What is going on here? What is this? The sun being a God? What are you talking about? It's alive? What? You crazy? No, I'm not. Simple. This is about sexuality. This is a great big fuck. Straight up and down with you. All you're doing is having sex. Everything is sexual. God is sex. So this is how we're going to break it down to OD now. Might be 2-3 videos. But here we go. OD, the feminine, that now creates matter. When you see OB splits himself in two, you get OB and OD. The two Kadua symbols. The two Kadua symbols now take up on two different directions. One remain over as the guiding power, but the dark now rules everything because matter is going to encompass a world for us to have a reality in. So she's going to break herself down into every particle, every form of reality that give a different expression of the OD. Remember, the OB is the OD in feminine. Or how they tell you the twin flame, you're one spirit, but now you divide into male, female. That's what I'm talking about. So if you was the spirit that divide, one would be OB and one would be OD. That's Hancock. The woman in Hancock was OD, and Hancock was OD. Same thing. I'm just breaking this all down so you can make sense. You want to follow this, check out with Kenneth Gray. He'll break it all down to you from Kemet to all of West Africa, which was first. You understand? And everybody should know this by now. If y'all still debating over stupid stuff like that, you don't need to be on this channel. This is advanced stuff, academia stuff, man. Theses, proven facts only. All right, here we go. So now, with that in mind, OD becomes, let me start. ON first. Let's do the simple one. OD becomes ON. On. Remember that? That's a sound frequency of the sun. OD is the sun. Remember, it had to take a physical form. So it became OD. One more time, here we go. Became in Egypt, AN, on. Which one would be first? OM or A? Well, we know, if you Google right now, the vowels got invented in the 1700s. Then you know for damn sure there was no AN back in Egypt. Egypt didn't have no vowels. As a matter of fact, the whole nation had a vowel in it. Vowel is an American construct, a German construct too. Before that, it didn't exist. We followed a different type of speaking. I can't remember the words right now. I'm going to do a video about it. That only rendered us to have consonants. So if you're still chasing down words with vowels in it, you're chasing down only stuff that's written after the 17th century and was reinterpreted. That's all. But in actuality, language came from Arabic, the last ruling nation, Ottomans or whatever. So only thing that would exist before that would be words with no consonant. When actually Arabs started putting consonants in a word, their language became a pseudo-language. There's two forms of the language itself, and one of them is actually not the true form. I'm going to give you the data and everything. I just can't go into it now because I'm trying to stay focused. So on was A-N, O-M. You get the same thing when you go into OD. This is how it comes down. So from An, and you get Anu. From Anu, you get Anu Ibis. Later on, it become Anubis. Anu also now take on the P, not the Anu. I'm still doing the An and all the different names for the sun. The sun, or OD, the female, becomes also Ptah. Ptah is actually the sun. Horus is the rays in the sun. Ptah's sun is Horus. This is going to be deep, but I'm going to give you the research, because there's a symbol. Everything is symbolic, and you have to know the symbolic meaning with the sun. The reason I'm explaining this to you is Solomon. I call myself Solomon, and I am Solomon, and I represent Solomon. And for y'all who follow Hebrew religion, Judaism, Christianity, Solomon, S-O-L, Greek for sun, O-N, is Sanskrit for sun. S-O-L-O-N, M-O-N, Mon is, which one is it? Vedic for sun. So Solomon is sun, sun, sun. Did you know that? It's about the sun, no matter how you look at it. Hercules is the sun. When I started sun staring, my life changed. And I'm pretty sure if you sun stare too, it'll change yours. Also, if you keep sun staring, it'll tell you sun staring gives you superhuman powers. Okay. This is now when he comes to life, where subatomic particles come together, and you start learning about the elemental spirits, the air spirits, the demions, the gods. All of this is in the air. How you identify with it? Through light. So light was always seen as your father. All right. I hope this is making sense, because you have to know this if you want to understand the Bible. Helios Biblios, Sun Book, is not a physical story. It's a story about you and all your many, many splits and parts. The many mansions of your father. Okay. I want you to understand this thing so that everything that I'm saying will make sense. So now, how do OD continue? Let's finish with OD. OD becomes the feminine principle. She becomes everything in the physical world that is attraction. It has a sexual context to it. So in your body, you have an ovary, and in male, they have the scrotum. Those are the two balls that receive sexual energy, which is the life force principle. This life force principle breaks up into three parts as it goes up your body. At the second root chakra, it changes to chi energy right by your belly button. That's where chi comes from. And as it goes up to your heart, it vibrates different and becomes ching energy. This is where we get ethereal energy come from. And over here, it becomes a higher energy, which is the crown, where you get intelligence and goes to the highest level of ascension, called, I can't remember the name. It'll come to me. It's a different energy, all right, with the purple being on the top. So with this in mind now, how this has become a sexual energy and how everything come into existence is the romance and relationship between the dark and the light, between the God and the other God. But the frequencies of vibration renders different forms, different attributes, different dimensions. So this is how we come into existence, with the two first being the ethereal light. Ethereal light is only two colors, black and white, the same two gods. In between the two, black and white, it forms seven colors, the seven rainbow, which is the seven dimensions. These seven dimensions is not only seven dimensions of existence, but in it is sub-dimensions, which gave us our different chakra points, our different vortices, where each one rendering to a certain amount of spirits that's on your body. These spirits, when you close your eyes, go into meditation, you transform back into them or go into them consciously, and you learn the full journey of where you're going. Okay, if you don't know this, you would just go in there and seek power, you get played, you see scary monsters, you think you got possessed, you think somebody took over your body. This is not true. This energy first started manifesting in us as Kundalini, this serpent coiled up, that if you refrain from having sex, the energy actually burns your semen. Your semen builds up till they get to the back of your spine by your ass, the same way you feel that feeling when you're coming. But it fulminates there and it becomes gaseous, which starts off the ethereal energy. When that happens, you start seeing things and hearing things and feeling all types of things. But that's Kundalini, the same old dua that is trying to make it so that you can see the soul. That's your soul journey. So it also manifests too now. OD becomes AD. AD becomes AL. AL becomes EL when the Hebrews hit it. So L and Al is the same thing. Allah and El is the same God. It's no difference, and it's just interpretation. El becomes Elohim. Elohim is the same thing as El Shaddai. El Shaddai is El Shaitan. El Shaitan is the first version. The West Africans only worship Satan. They never worship no God. There is no God for the physical body. That is spirit. The physical body is made by the mother, matter. And so she was always represented as El Shaitan. So you get Canute on the potter's wheel, the man with the horn, looking like a Anubis, but it's really a reindeer, which represent the woman's vagina, the yoni. The two people on the potter's wheel is the Isis and the Osiris, the two nadis channels that actually go in your body. To tie this and say, you don't think I'm crazy, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When the Jews or the Israelites was in the wilderness and they didn't have no food, he told them to put up a cross with the snake on it and to tell them to stare at it and they're going to be healed. It's the same thing. You see what he told them? A bronze one too. That means a black person. A bronze statue, you stare at it and it heals you. That's real because it's the same crystal you're looking at. This now is the same thing that we call mana. Remember, mana is something that they're supposed to have been receiving, but it's not a physical food. What is mana? It's the crystallization of the chemicals in your body. And you drink it yourself. You sun stare, you make mana. It's like a liquid that comes from the throat glands that it excrete, and it'll be like a thick substance. That's mana. But you have to have the right staring and the Kadua sign to do it. So when you see this mana, or what we call Amun, the hidden one, it's the same thing. Amun Ra is the same An, and then you put Man or whatever, and you get your mana up to your Amun Ra. All of this is that clear gel spirit, the white God. You understand? Your semen is him. Your tears is him. It's the same, all your internal fluids. That's why I said don't spill your fluids, because you're spilling the white God. It's not as much as it is the dark God. But your job is half the yin-yang sign, which is black and one side is white, is to make it one, the whole thing white. Become full spirit again. That's the ascension. You can't ascend to the full spirit if you don't know God, because you have to know your angelic side, your demonic side, all the beings from the elemental spirit, the mineral world, your casual body, your emotional body, your ethereal body, your astral body. All of this you have to learn. Why? If you don't, it will attack you and you think you're being attacked by some type of entity, some type of spirit, some type of government issued system. No, it's your ascension time. People going home. And if you don't know that, you're going to get caught up like a dumbass Hebrew or a Roman, because you're barbaric, only see form. The form is the deception of Odu. Odua is the sexual energy. That's why you see the powder's wheel is a sexual energy. Everything is sexual through mesmerism. Observe yourself with a woman. Observe yourself with a man. You will see you do extra shit than you usually do when you're attracted to them. Or what attracts you to a person? Why is everybody seeking companionship instead of ascension? It's a very powerful energy working against us. It's to keep you asleep. That unconscious people love to watch cartoons. If you want to see somebody who's unconscious, watch the people who watch cartoons. Why? Because the unconscious is the subconscious. And they need images to actually program them. They only program off of images. TV watchers are unconscious people that being programmed by the TV, images. People who like form because he's sexy, because he look like this, is actually being programmed by the unconscious. Anything that you see that you actually looking at and fall for is actually part of the unconscious. When you're part of the conscious, you create. You don't look for anything because it's inside of you already. You see it all. So when you do see a form, you see the God in it. You see the different images that make it up. You don't look at the whole image as one. That's like the 100 trillion gazillion spirits that make up your one form. But if you look at myself, it's different things on me. You see them all over. It's just, do you recognize what they are? Or do you just see it on everybody and you don't pay it no mind? We have to pay attention to details. You know, I'm going to start ending this one off now because anywhere else I go is going to get long. But also, I just want you to know, OD becomes all the different gods. I'm pretty sure I've said it in a few videos. I don't have to go over it again and again. And this is all about the crystals. The crystals is the source for you to see these gods and unite with them. If you want these crystals, get in touch with me. It's nothing that you can't afford. It's affordable ones, but they're actually, like I said, priceless. They're handmade by me. No machine touched them. 2, also, there's a second part to this I'm going to start teaching because we've been taught wrong. Aside from that, crystals don't work if it's been polished and if it's been cut by a machine to change its resonance. Like, yo, some of these crystals will move. You keep staring at it, it'll actually start rocking and moving. I set them to pivot and be perfect. Like, if you could put it, every one of them is preset to stand at a certain angle, like it just balances. But if you was to blow just a little, topple over. So use your mind now. Practice using your mind to topple it over. Make it move. Some of them will turn. If you could get the 0-point balance that I've found on each one. I do them quick. I don't know. Let me tell you, in the time that I made up the crystals, I didn't eat for the 3 days. And I didn't sleep for the 3 days. I still haven't slept till now. Last night I went to sleep like around 3, and I tossed and turned till 5. I fell asleep and I'm back up by 7 o'clock, full of energy. I haven't really eaten, and it's these crystals that's been doing it. I got them all laid out on a table in my room, and it's sending off so much energy that when people talk to me on the phone, I go in the room, they be like, whoa, what the fuck is all this energy coming from? And I'm like, yo, it's these crystals. I haven't had an appetite and I don't want to sleep and I'm running in my mouth. It just is the shit, I'm telling y'all. And on that note, I'm going to tell you, hold on. On that note, it's like we actually don't realize what we need to heal us, what we need to get us right. We actually believe what the government said. We believe what other people say and never field tested everything ourselves. What I'm telling you is from experience, field testing everything and seeing what protects me, because it's like I don't have a magnetic field and I'm not protected. I have to protect myself. That's the lessons the ancestors are teaching me, but they're guiding me. And so I could take the information and pass it off to you. When we talk in these crystals, you will go into the mineral world. This is where I'm at now. I left the astral body, most of the emotional body. I left a lot of bodies. I know I'm in the mineral body now. All I see is all this mineral kingdom. Let me tell you, you could go inside the minerals. They got veins in them and see how they're created. I was invited in there by the spirit that he looks just like the Parker Brothers Monopoly guy with the white hat, with the black hat on his head, the white guy with the chubby face and mustache. He's real. And let me explain something to you. Seriously. Y'all have to understand. Jesus is 100% real. Just like Spider-Man is 100% real. Let me tell you again. Jesus is 100% real. Just like Spider-Man is 100% real. How is that? Thought forms. We create these images, these entities with our thoughts. Anything you believe in, as long as people is here and still believe in it, still talk about it, still see it. Like Martin Luther King is here right now because of us. Gandhi, whoever you think of is here because you thought of them. Only people that don't exist for real in the astral is shit that we don't think about no more. It's gone. They get to move on totally, or their essence die off. But as long as we're here admiring this and your kids think that this and that, these things become 100% real. More real than this physical world. Why? Because after you leave here and die, the next generation keeps them going. And the next generation keeps them going. And so we have these thought forms that's here attacking you and blocking you from ascension. And if you don't know this, you're going to be in for the greatest puzzle to figure out for yourself. So believe me, Jesus is 100% real, just like Spider-Man is real. And any other thought forms that's in existence that people believe they are and support is real. I just wanted you to know that. Keep that in mind, and let me get up out of here. We'll get back to this. I'll share my experiences of what's going on in the mineral world and how, I had stopped actually meditating because of this, because it was new. I just finished the face of God and all this, but now, like I said, my meditations is complicated. I have to put on the cowboy hat. Well, it's the black hat. It's just a black hat. It ain't no cowboy hat. But I have to put on certain things and have on certain gatekeeper signs and all that before I could do it, which kind of become tedious. But this new one is scary as hell, and it's a whole bunch of new beings. So I'm about to tell you all about it coming up in the next video, how I entered there. But they're the most nicest, sweetest people in the world. And I told you that I was a seer and I couldn't hear. Well, through the mineral world now, I could hear. Right before I go to sleep, and I'm in my sleepiest state, all of a sudden I could hear them talk. They sound just like cartoon characters, just like how it sounds. They're 100% real. I do it every day. It has me now just running in to ponder upon this. I haven't meditated since the first experience, because as I go, it's weird. Being inside minerals and in their world is different from what I experience in this new beings, and I have to first configure myself. But I went through the guy with the Parker brothers who took me back to the same mind that I went through. I have to ask permission for every rock that I take. I can't just take a rock. I can't just take a mineral. You have to ask for permission, and because some of them that first night was telling me to put it back. They didn't get permission. But after I went over there and investigated, every rock that I found, everything that I have to show y'all, they showed it to me and told me, go over there while I'm sitting in meditation, not on the beach, at home. And they'll point me and tell me, I see my hand go down and pick it up. And everything that they showed me, I went and picked up. I got some nice things to show y'all. These is artifacts. I would tell everybody to go outside in the world and go find things, man. It's valuable things that have put these Europeans that they took off from Africa, that established them. They're still here. The earth is turning over and rendering them for this new generation. Go out and seek things of value, of rocks. Don't listen to what they tell you is valuable. You don't have to go seek diamond and gold. Those don't hold no value. Those is valueless because it's rare. If God wanted it to have value, he would have made it so rare. What if whole value is what's here in abundance? Waking y'all up, that's what your body needs. You just have to learn, research what it is, and you realize you've been duped, man. So, I'm going to leave it on that note for now.